Members of Congress in the U.S. House of Representatives, they get a lot of benefits, but what kind of benefits do they get exactly? I know they make about $174,000 a year, unless they've raised it, but I think that's still about what they're earning per year. And I recently heard that they get a pension if they serve, I believe it's 5 terms, and they get other benefits like childcare and a certain number of flights that the taxpayers cover. They also get a certain amount of money for interns and staff members and things like that. So I thought I'd go over some of the information, and I actually pulled some info from Grok here on X, and this AI bot, whatever you want to call it, it's actually really deep, really detailed. It provides a crap ton of information when you really want it to. You can actually even have it search deeper and search deeper, try to plunge into the rabbit hole with whatever question that you're looking for. It's way better than Google. I haven't used ChatGPT before. This one is really the only one that I've played with, which is very minimal because it hasn't really been out for that long, and I haven't really thought of much to ask it. So anyway, I thought I would ask it that question. So what benefits do members of Congress get exactly? And it starts off with a few key points. Research suggests that members of Congress, and by the way, the research is Grok's research, the research that the AI bot did on its own. It has concluded that members of Congress receive a range of perks, including a $174,000 salary, as well as health insurance and retirement benefits. It seems likely that they also get allowances for office and travel expenses, access to facilities and security services. The evidence leans toward these perks being necessary for their roles, but public debate exists over their cost and fairness. So it goes on to detail their salary, their compensation. So members of Congress, they earn a base salary of $174K each year, with leadership roles like the Speaker of the House earning up to $223,500. These figures have remained unchanged since 2009, so they haven't changed it recently. I thought I read somewhere that they had upped their salary, and I mean, it seems kind of like a little bit of a conflict of interest that they would vote to raise their own salaries. I mean, I guess it's good that they haven't raised their salaries to like $10 million a year or some shit like that, but it wouldn't surprise me if sometime in our lifetimes that we wouldn't see some overt corruption in that aspect. But anyway, 2009, so it has been a little while. I mean, it kind of a shitty thing to do in the year 2009, just fresh after the housing crash, the subprime mortgage collapse of 2008. Yeah, pretty interesting that they're bailing out banks and they're also giving each other big pay raises in the same year, basically. Anyway, despite potential cost of living adjustments due to congressional votes to decline increases. So some of their benefits and perks. They enjoy comprehensive health insurance with the government covering about 72% of premiums, as well as retirement benefits, including a pension and a 401k style plan. So members of Congress, they get a 401k. And allowances for office operations and travel. Additional perks include free parking, which I'm sure is sky-high expensive in D.C. I can only imagine. I've been to D.C. once. When was that? That would have been, I think, in 2014. I went for that Cherry Blossom Run event that they do. I think it's in April, somewhere around April, I think. And yeah, everything there is expensive. Like breakfast was like $25 a plate. It was absolutely insane. And that was just the continental breakfast at the hotel. And it wasn't some fancy 5-star like resort style hotel or anything. It was just some regular hotel in the DC area. So, but anyway, free parking, they get subsidized childcare, and they get access to Capitol Hill facilities like a gym. So moving on to public and ethical considerations. While these benefits support their duties, controversies arise, such as spending on elevator doormen and debates over salary raises, reflecting public scrutiny over taxpayer costs. Yeah, because they make a lot more than the average American does, and it's supposed to be a position of public service. It's not supposed to be a career that you're making a decades-long living doing. I would actually have to look it up again, but I think in the state of Florida, a House member in the Florida State House of Representatives, they only make like $30,000 a year, or like maybe $35,000 a year. It's a really low number. It might not even be 30,000. It might even be in the 20s. It's not much at all. It's certainly not enough to make a living on. So anyway, let's see. Survey note, detailed analysis of job perks for members of Congress. So this note provides an in-depth examination of the job perks available to members of the U.S. Congress based on a comprehensive review of authoritative sources, including official documentation and reputable publications. The analysis aims to cover all aspects mentioned in the research, ensuring a thorough understanding for readers interested in the financial and operational benefits provided to congressional members. So the background and context to this. The members of Congress, comprising senators and representatives, are federal employees with roles that require significant resources to fulfill legislative and constituent service duties. Their perks are designed to support these responsibilities, but they have also been subject to public scrutiny, especially given taxpayer funding. As of May 16, 2025, the following details reflect the current understanding based on available data. So pretty much already covered the basics from that. They make $174,000 annually. They gave a couple of sources, Statista, National Taxpayers Union Foundation. Let's see, Speaker of the House earns $223K. The majority and minority leaders in both chambers earn $193,400. I'm assuming this is all before taxes, but it wouldn't surprise me to find out if they don't even freaking pay any kind of taxes. That would not surprise me at all. But I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. So these figures are adjusted periodically for cost of living increases. Yeah, that's a joke. But Congress has voted not to accept increases since 2009, keeping salaries at the 2009 level, as noted in NPR, which I think is hilarious because, $174,000 was a crap ton of money back then. 2009, like in where I live in the Tampa Bay area, I live in the St. Pete area, and there were houses around here that were going for $70,000, $80,000, and like 2 miles from the beach in a perfect location in the middle of the city, close to everything, less than $100,000 for like a 3-bedroom house. Now, granted, it was like you would be getting a mid-century home, hasn't been updated since the 70s. It's like a bare basic block home. But today, that same house, probably $300,000, maybe $400,000, an absolute insane amount of money. So I don't know. I just think that's funny that they gave themselves a pay increase of that much money, way back when our cost of living has increased substantially. But yeah, I mean, they would be met with a ton of pushback if they were to raise their salaries right now. But it honestly wouldn't surprise me because then they'd be blaming the inflation, which was almost exclusively their fault from the get-go. But that's for a whole nother conversation. So anyway, I'll just digress. But so health and retirement benefits, that's the next thing that this Grok post covers. Let's see. Members of Congress are eligible for the Federal Employees Health Benefits Program, with the government covering approximately 72% of premiums, as noted in Forbes and Indeed.com. This is a significant perk, offering comprehensive coverage at reduced personal costs. Let's see. I wonder how much they have to pay per month for that. Probably nothing. It's probably just included in the whole package. They probably don't have to pay a dime. As most of us, we have to pay hundreds of dollars. Or if you're crazy or psychotic enough to still be paying for Obamacare, I actually looked up my premium. Granted, it was a few years ago. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. But just out of just morbid curiosity, I just wanted to check and see how much it would cost for me to get the platinum plan, the highest plan, which would have covered $100 for the ER visit, $35 for a specialist, $20 for a primary care physician, $250 inpatient, no deductibles, no extra premiums or anything. That's just the flat amount. The insurance that most of us used to get before Obamacare was rolled out. Remember back in the 2000s, if you were old enough to remember that? Remember, there was a lot of people had insurance back then that if you got sick and you were laid up in the hospital for 2 weeks, or you got a nasty injury or something, your copay was $250, and that was it. And in most cases, your follow-up appointment with a specialist after you got out of the hospital was covered under that $250 copay. But yeah, long gone are those days. But anyway, I looked it up. Obamacare, the premium plan, had that same exact coverage, And at the time, I think I was 36, maybe 37 years old. I'm 40 now. But when I looked that up, it was $1,400 a month just for me, by myself, not family. Didn't include kids or anything like that. It was just me by myself in my 30s, well over $1,000 a month. I about shit myself. That was absolutely crazy to read. So I can only imagine how expensive it must be today. Just absolutely crazy. I don't even imagine how anybody could possibly even consider getting insurance through Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. So anyway, I'll go ahead and move on. Let's see. Retirement benefits are robust with eligibility for the Federal Employees Retirement System, or FERS, which includes a pension after 5 years of service, vesting after this period for members elected after 1984, as per National Taxpayers Union Foundation. Additionally, they have access to the Thrift Savings Plan, a 401k style plan with government matching contributions of up to 5% of salary and Social Security benefits detailed in Indeed.com. Life insurance is another benefit offered through the Federal Employees Group Life Insurance with low-cost premiums, as mentioned in the same sources. Office and staff allowances. One of the most substantial perks is the members' representational allowance, MRA, which supports official and representational duties. According to Axios, House members receive an average of $1.27 million annually, while senators get about $3.3 million annually, covering staffing, office expenses, and constituent services. Now, how many members of Congress are there? Aren't there 435? Isn't that the number? 435? Or is it 437 maybe? Come on, give it to me straight. Give it to me straight. How many are there? Oh man, this thing takes forever. Oh no, 535. Okay, all right, I was way off, but I got the 35 right. So 535, let's just do a little bit of quick math here. 535. So let's see, 1.27. Let's just do it the long way, times 535. So that's $679.45 million a year that the House of Representatives are spending just on their support staff. And senators, I mean, of course it's going to be less because there's only 100 senators, but I know, times 100, I know, just add 2 zeros, 330 million. I just wanted to display it out for you. 330 million. So both chambers put together about $1 billion a year that they're spending just on staff. Absolutely crazy in my opinion. But I get it. They got to have people like helping them to draft bills and research this and work the phones because they've got hundreds of thousands of constituents that they're supposed to be working for. Not that most of them really are, but so anyway, I'll go ahead and move on from that. So the House Administration Committee details that this allowance reimburses ordinary and necessary expenses within the U.S., the territories, and possessions, including employee salaries and office supplies. Members can employ up to 18 permanent employees and 4 additional staff, including paid interns with a pay range of $1,200 to $38,500 annually, as per the handbook. I guess the House of Representatives, they get an employee handbook. There is also a separate House paid internship program and the Green and Gold Congressional Aid Program for disabled veterans and Gold Star families with expenses covered by the Chief Administrative Officer. So moving on to travel and telecommunications perks. Travel allowances are significant. These are all significant, with reimbursements for transportation, lodging, meals, excluding alcohol. Yeah, right, that's a big joke. Like they really actually take advantage of that, or they actually abide that, I should say. There's no way. I'm sure they write all that off, alcohol and all these ridiculous parties and shit. I'm sure that they do. My opinion, but I would not be surprised if they actually do include alcohol with their bill. They probably just throw it all into one check. So anyway, and incidentals for official travel as detailed in the handbook. Members can travel up to 60 consecutive days, often in business class or first class. Yeah, of course, because they can't mingle with the constituency. They have to be higher up and better than them. I mean, why can't you just sit and coach like everybody else? I mean, why not? It's petty. It's petty. It's ridiculous. I mean, first class compared to a coach seat's like what, $300 maybe, whereas first class is like what, $1,300, 15. I don't even know. I've never flown first class, never flown business class, not once in my life. So yeah, I think that's pretty ridiculous. But you actually get people like Bernie Sanders. He's flying on a private jet. He's not even taking airlines. He's flying private with AOC. They're going around to what did he call this whole campaign trail thing, where I think they're talking about like green energy or some bullshit where they're trying to, I don't know, further some agenda that they both have going on. It probably has to do with something going green or whatever. But yeah, he was interviewed by somebody in the news media. I think it was actually on Fox News, actually. And he was like, well, it's just something that's necessary. You know, we've got a lot of stops we have to make and we have to get there quickly. So that's just the best way that we can get there. It's like, dude, you could also take a bus, you know, campaign trail. Most people who run for office, if they're running within their state, they go from town to town, you know, they take a bus from stop to stop. Instead of crisscrossing across the country, going from this coast to that coast, back to this coast, back to that coast, why don't you just take a straight trip around the country in a bus or something, or even take a flight? But you can go from city to city. You don't have to crisscross all over the place. You know, structure it in a common sense kind of way, instead of throwing away taxpayer money on these stupid private jets that cost $50,000, $60,000+ $1,000 per flight to fly in. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. But anyway, I think I probably lost my place, didn't I? Let's see. Often in business class. Okay, yeah, there I was. Additional travel perks include reimbursable in-flight Wi-Fi, satellite radio service, and Clear Plus membership for expedited airport security, all for official use. So they can't even sit in security like the rest of us. Ridiculous. Telecommunications benefits include reimbursement for internet services at their residence for official purposes, with de minimis personal use allowed, but no campaign-related use as per the handbook. Yeah, because they totally follow that too. Housing and miscellaneous allowances. Members can deduct up to $3,000 annually for living expenses in Washington, D.C., as mentioned in the Motley Fool, which helps offset the cost of maintaining a dual residence. They also have access to tax-exempt letters to avoid unnecessary taxes on official expenses, contactable through the Office of General Counsel as per the handbook. Facilities and security. Access to Capitol Hill facilities is a notable perk, including a subsidized gym membership at $25 a month, with amenities like a swimming pool, a sauna, steam room, and paddleball, as per Forbes. Other facilities include dining rooms, parking, and a beauty salon, as noted in Business Insider. Some sources suggest lifetime access to certain facilities, though this is less formalized and debated. Security is another critical perk, with Capitol Police protection and the ability to hire security personnel for events and offices, reimbursable through the MRA. Bulletproof vests and security training are also covered, contactable through the District Security Service Center as per the handbook. Family and leave benefits. Now, this is interesting because Anna Paulina Luna, she is the representative in my district. I voted for her twice, actually. And she's trying to pass this new rule in Congress, which would allow members of Congress to vote remotely when they have recently had a baby. And I personally think that's ridiculous. I think that's stupid. If you can't be there in person to vote on critical issues, then maybe you just shouldn't be in Congress at the moment. I mean, if you're in the middle of starting a family, creating a family, may not be the best time to be serving your district. As much as I love her being my representative, she's very America first. She shares, a lot of the same political values that I share. So, I got her there, but not with this whole voting by remote. That is absolutely insane, especially when they've got this daycare thing. They have daycare there. You can just drop them off there, and I don't even think they even have to really pay for it. So anyway, members have access to the House Child Care Center at subsidized rates. Okay, so maybe they do have to pay a little bit. I don't know. A benefit highlighted in the initial research. Leave policies are generous, with up to 12 weeks paid leave under the Family and Medical Leave Act. That actually applies to everybody in the country, or at least it's supposed to. Well, at least if you work part-time or full-time, I mean. I don't know if that applies to part-time. I'm assuming it does. Let's see, FMLA for birth or adoption, and up to 12 weeks unpaid for other family or medical reasons, plus 26 weeks for injured service member care, as detailed in the handbook. Military leave includes up to 15 days paid per fiscal year for National Guard or reserves, and up to 5 years for contingency operations. Communication and promotional perks. The franking privilege allows free mailing for official communications within budget limits, as noted in the Motley Fool, and Center for Public Integrity. Members can also use travel promotional awards, such as free flights or upgrades, for official purposes, with no reimbursement needed as no expense is incurred, as per the handbook. Educational and training opportunities. Reimbursable expenses include educational and training programs related to duties such as first aid, CPR, and notary certifications, with free training offered via HouseNet, as per the handbook. This supports professional development and job performance. Identification and parking perks. Members receive a congressional lapel pin, changed every 2 years, which allows them to bypass security and access restricted areas, as noted in the New York Times. That's like some CIA shit. It's probably got some like like RFID tracker or something in there. They probably just that's probably their badge. You know, like when you're walking up, it just gives the green light when you're about to approach the doors or something. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? They also have special license plates or permits enabling parking in reserved areas, including at airports, as mentioned in roll call. Death gratuity and other benefits. A death gratuity equal to 1 year's salary is paid to the family if a member dies in office, costing taxpayers $5 million from 2000 to 2021, as per National Taxpayers Union Foundation. Other benefits include workers' compensation and exemptions from certain federal laws like Freedom of Information Act for pensions, as noted in Forbes. Controversies and public perception. While these perks are intended to support effective governance, they are often controversial. Taxpayers spent $10 million over 5 years on elevator doormen, as per Forbes, and public approval ratings for Congress have historically been low. Oh yeah, they've been very low. They've been really, really low, like 20% low, with polls showing ratings as low as 9 to 11% between 2011 and 2013. Yeah, maybe it's because they gave themselves almost a $200,000 salary in the middle of a freaking Great Recession. Maybe that might be the reason, as per the Motley Fool. Man, Grok really likes the Motley Fool, whatever the hell that is. Recent reforms, like the No Corruption Act of December 2025, aim to close loopholes in pension payments for convicted members. Gee, I wonder where they got that from. As per the National Taxpayers Union Foundation, reflecting ongoing efforts to address public concerns. Detailed breakdown in these tables. So it kind of just gives a detailed breakdown of not detailed, but just a summary breakdown of what I already went over. To organize the information, the following table summarized key perks and their details, which I guess I could kind of go full screen with this, but let's see. It just shows exactly what I just covered. The office and staff, up here with the compensation, travel and telecom, housing, miscellaneous. So it just kind of lists everything down and some of the additional perks. So they actually do get a lot of perks. Let's see some key citations. So these are all links. I can click on any one of these. So that's kind of cool that it actually gave, it actually showed the sources where it pulled it from. Yeah, here, this is apparently that Motley Fool page where Grok got a lot of the information from. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool that Grok actually does this. That's nice. I mean, that's nifty. I pay the $8 a month to use X because I use it every day, and I figured, $8 a month ain't too bad. But I don't know if everybody has access to Grok or not, or if you have to be a subscriber to X to use it. I don't know. But if anybody can use it, I'd recommend using it. It's actually pretty cool. You can ask it pretty much whatever, and it'll give you whatever it is that you're looking for. So anyway, that's it. That's the perks that members of Congress get in the United States House of Representatives. And it covered a little bit from the Senate, but I was more interested in the House. There's a lot more members in the House than there are in the Senate. So that's basically all I got for now. So see you later.